Okay, well, hello everybody. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. They call me Guitar Tom because I'm often seen with a guitar, and they call me on the phone. They ask me, they say, "Hey man, what's your show about anyway?" And I say, "Oh, it's about an hour. It's about guitars, guitar players, guitar playing, and all things guitaristic." So, occasionally you'll get a number on the screen if you want to call me up and ask me a question about the care and feeding of your guitar, how to play the guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you. We could talk about some sort of related topic too. You could talk about the guitarrón, the guitarra, the sitar, lutes, vihuelas, banjos, balalaikas, bouzouki, bajos, sextos, chitoles, ukuleles, banjolines and mandolins, cuatros and cavaquinhos. Oh, I don't know, anything with frets on it, anything with strings on it, or saxon violins on television. We could talk about cellos or timbales, harmoniums or harpsichords or harmonicas, harps, ocarinas, accordions, pipe organs, piccolos. I mean, I go on like this every week, but I tell you, anything you want to talk about music, call me up if you want, and if you want to talk about politics, world events, your own personality problems, that's fine. We're here for you on the show, but keep it clean. This is a family program. Okay. So I've been playing this guitar lately. This is a DBZ Imperial. And I'm not sure what's going on with the DBZ guitars. This is several years old. I got it used, and it's really interesting. It's very thin. I've had it on the show before. It's very, very thin. You see, it's a very thin body, but very, very hard, dense wood. Laminated. I'm not sure what all it's laminated with, but they're very thin pieces of wood, and it's got a couple humbuckers on it. The thing is that when I got this guitar, and I'm telling you another boring story of probably one or two guitar players out there watching and say, yeah, tell us more about the guitar. Because that's what you care about. But anyway, so in this show a couple of years ago, I guess, whenever I got this guitar, it was the night the LA Classical Guitar Quartet was playing in Coralville at the Performing Arts Center. So I had to leave right after the show to go to that concert, and so I borrowed this guitar from the guitar shop, the Musician's Pro Shop, and I played this one, and I played my big fat hollow body jazz guitar that I've played quite a bit and had for quite a few years now, and to see which one, if this could hold up with that big fat D-Armand. And yeah, it sounded great, and it was different, a different voice, but just everybody's big and fat and powerful as that jazz guitar, and full and rich sound. And this does have a big. So anyway, the next day I went in there and I started paying for it because they let you like rent to own or whatever. So I paid it off, and it's a long time ago. I've since acquired guitars. I've since gotten rid of guitars, and I'm in the process of. I've sold some guitars to the guitar shop, and I got a store credit, and I'm going to get more guitars. And probably next week on the show, I'll bring my new hollow bodies. But anyway, I've been playing this one as a jazz guitar. I'm sure it's a good rock and roll guitar too, but I've been playing it. And the other thing I did on Sunday, 2 days ago, is I bought this orange amp here, which is quite orange. And I've seen orange amps before, but it's not, but mostly they're like really good for distortion, kind of heavy metal sounds. I was looking for another amp, and I'm always looking for a small amp that has a full sound because I play, in restaurants, and I play at fairly low volumes. I'm looking for something that I don't have to turn up very loud, and so there's this one, and this is an orange, and it's called orange, and this is the 2015 model. They went off, the guys up at the Guitar Center, Cedar Rapids, had just gotten back from the NAMM show, the National Association of Music Merchandisers show, a big trade show for people who sell music gear. And they brought back two orange amps, this one and a bigger one. And I So I called them up because I was looking actually for a little Marshall practice amp that I used to have one that kind of broke and I liked it, but the sound I was getting out of it. They said, oh, no, we don't have any Marshalls like that, but the orange is great. And I thought, orange, that's a distortion thing. So I got this one, went up there, and they said, this one has, of course, a distortion channel, but it also has a little reverb, not very many knobs on it, and a really good full sound. I was going to see if I could get the black one with a little bit of orange around the label, but they didn't have one. All they had was the bright orange one. So now I have a bright orange amp, and I traded in something else that I didn't like as much, and gave them a little bit of money. And so anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm playing more like jazz guitar stuff, and you know, I've been doing a lot of nylon, you know, in the past, but the last couple of weeks I've been, it was requested by Paula at the Tuscan Moon that I play jazz standards, you know, and so that's what I've been doing. And I wish I could remember, like, I actually have been practicing. I had a bunch of free time. Students didn't show up at college today, and I was there in my little room by myself, and I practiced. And I just simply can't play anything that I was working on today by memory. I need the sheet music, but how did that go? Maybe I'll remember it. I can't remember anything. I just remember old repertoire. Maybe I'm getting old. Well, I'll play something else then. So it makes a sweet little jazz guitar. It's interesting. I'm like memorizing 5 or 6 songs at once. And like a minute ago, I was going to try to play Our Day Will Come, and I couldn't remember how it starts. I think it's like uh, I know. The next time maybe I'll do it right. No, it's G. C major 7. One more try. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to drag everybody through that, but what I was doing was trying to remember how to play something that I loosely memorized last week here on live TV. It gets worse, but I'm interested in this sort of thing about learning to memorize, and I'm sort of, I'm struggling with myself, and of course I teach people, and of course we all have to memorize other things too. I mean, you get the new PIN number for your bank card or whatever, or your phone number or whatever, PIN numbers, all these things, addresses, people's names. So I'm interested in memorization, I guess, and I'm as I said, I have this request to play a lot more jazz standards, and I know some, and the ones, it takes me a while to get something down, so I just know it automatically, because there's this difference between, okay, at first I can't play it at all, then I'm reading on a page, and I'm probably doing something to it, so I used to write everything out, in a staff, but now what I do is I like transpose. I usually transpose the melody up an octave, which isn't that big a deal, but it's something to do, and then I have the chords, and I think, how am I going to voice this chord, for this note? And, because everybody knows the chord's down here. So, So, like in that song, what I'm doing is, right, so I got to play those notes up and down, but I have to put the chords with them. So I have to, you know, like, so you know, you can play a chord like D minor, G7, E minor 7, A7, you know. So that's down there, but I have to play the chords up here so that I can reach the melody and have the chord underneath it, and then have some sort of a bass part, boom, 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 bass part going on at the same time. So that's the other thing when you're working these things out. And the nice thing about classical guitar music is that everything's written out, every note is written out for you on the page. Of course, you have to read music. To do what I just did, you have to read music too, but what I'm doing is just reading one note at a time on the thing and then looking at the chord above it, and so I could put the chord and the note together. So, had a guy working on that in a lesson yesterday. He was doing things, different things, using a pick pretty much with his thing. It's chord melody with a pick. But he's trying to do it a little too hard, you know, he was failing at it. And not to say he can't do it really well, but maybe like in a couple of months. First thing I say is, well, okay, you want to put the chords and the notes together in the same thing. How about you do Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? So let's, so how's that go? Well, let's see, let's do it in A. So, okay, what are the chords? A, D, A, D, A, E, A, right? So, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to play the chords, and I'm going to play the notes that are going to be, and this song's simple enough that the notes are actually in the chord. Shall we yawn? Sorry, I'm boring myself with my, anyway, so okay, you have like, you know, okay. So I just played the notes, but I never played a note that was higher than the melody. I mean, obviously here, like A chord, but I have two more. So you're not going to hear the melody, it'll get buried in the middle of the chord. So the highest note I play is going to be, you know, the melody note. So wherever is the note underneath it. Okay. So maybe I want to make it a little more interesting, so I'll arpeggiate it. Arpeggio. Whenever I try saying in Italian, my hand comes like arpeggio. Arpeggio. Anyway, so arpeggio means broken chord. I mean, you break it up. I don't play it all at once. So I'll do that, you know, so I'll go like a. All right, I'll do that for a while. So that's cool. And what else should I do? Maybe I should put a little bit of bass line. A little bass part, boom, 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 boom. I'm thinking of, you know, you get your string bass, your bass guitar, your cello, your tuba, whatever, so boom, 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 bass. So now I happen to know I'm in the key of A major, and everybody knows that's three sharps, you know, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So it's like. So I'm going to play that, and of course. Walking, you know, walk the bass note from the root of one chord to the other one, boom, 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 right? And then if I'm on a chord for a while, maybe I want to alternate. And everybody knows, you know, how many bass players does it take to screw in a light bulb? 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5. Okay, so here we go. Here's my. So I'll do some of Twinkle Twinkle. I say I got the melody, got the chords, I arpeggiate a little bit, and a little bit of a bass line. So I have like. So, so one could probably be successful at Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, uh, and then you can work your way up. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking lead sheet out of a real book for old standards, and maybe I'll change the key, maybe I'll leave it in the original key, and I'll just like transpose the melody up higher, because like I was saying, I don't want to play any note that's higher than the melody. So if the melody is down like down there, I don't have very many notes underneath it to harmonize with. So I'll take it up an octave, and then so I have so I have a lot of room to work with. I could put more chord and some bass line. So anyway, that's what I've been doing lately. But I seem to have trouble memorizing things very quickly. I'm trying to remember what I was working on all afternoon. I had somebody get sick and not come to her lesson. I had a big gap in between lessons that I teach up at Coe College in Cedar Rapids, and I'm in room 217 down the hall, and had a big break because of scheduling issues people have, and then I had somebody sick right in the middle of that, so I had all this time, which is a great thing to have, a lot of time, practice room, nothing to do, no computer to surf the web with. My phone had needed charging, so I switched it off so it wouldn't beep at me anymore. So there I am all by myself, but I brought some sheet music in my briefcase, and I had a guitar. So what else would I need? Well, maybe a pencil, but I had one of those too. So anyway, so I was doing all the things you are. Bum, bum, bum. I can't remember how it goes. I never really memorized it. I had sheet music in front of me, but somehow making the connection so it's printed in my mind so I'll never forget it. When I worked up As Time Goes By, I was just playing like. I worked on it for like a week. I actually did 3 songs for a festival I was going to, and I played them on 10-string guitar. And that was 10 years ago. And of course, I played that song many times since, and I've more than memorized it. I don't even have to think about it. My fingers just know right where to go. But making that connection, so between looking at it on the page and saying, okay, now I got to transpose that note up an octave. And how am I going to voice that chord? I keep thinking, how am I going to do that? Oh no, there's an F minor in it, wasn't there? And then yeah. Anyway, so I find the process slow. Maybe I'm suffering from some senility. You can tell I'm an older fellow. I had a birthday a couple weeks ago. Anyway, but so that's what I'm doing. So that's Irving Berlin's What'll I Do? And I memorized that one last week. I don't know what my. Anyway, well, it's a work in progress. I'm learning new material. Maybe I'm slow to memorize. Maybe if I work at it, because I know in the old days, I worked at I worked out a system for memorization, and I got better at it. You know, there was a time when I used to sing in bars, and I'd sing a new song. Like I learned a new song every day because I only knew like 35 songs, and it wasn't enough to play in a bar. So people kept asking for songs, so I would go home and I would learn a new song every day of the week, and then I'd imprint it in my mind, and so I'd never forget it. So I've, I got good at it. I practiced learning, I practiced memorization, I got better at it. And then years later, I can still remember all those songs, all the lyrics and everything, every guitar riff. In fact, I have this sort of, it's like a archive of my my guitar style, the way I used to play back then. So anyway, because I haven't changed, it's just like printed in my mind forever and ever. Well, until nothing lasts forever. In a couple billion years, the sun's going to swell up really big. It's going to incinerate everything around it, and then it's going to explode, and that'll be it. I doubt I'll be around to see it. I have been taking better care of my health, but I probably won't live even a million years, let alone billions. But anyway, so anyway, my other thing this week is I like this DBZ guitar, and I'm not going to. I can't imagine selling it, and I have no desire to sell it. However, I have another guitar, and I've been. I was about to sell it, and then because I have 3 ES335 copies and a couple more that are pretty close to being ES335s. That's a Gibson. So this is not an ES335. Hang on, I'm just going to crawl around here for a second. Put you in here without breaking. Next. The case won't stay open. Okay, I've had this on this show maybe once. I don't know. I bought this guitar some time ago because I had a little bit of money, and I felt like it. And as I say, the guitar shop there, the Musicians Pro Shop, they have this sort of rent-to-own thing. You can rent a guitar for 90 days, and if you put a third of it down, and and then you get to keep it for 90 days, and if you don't want to pay it off, you take it back, and of course you lose your 30%. And if you do want to keep it, then you pay it off. So you can very easily also just pay it off in 90 days, and that's not it's not that hard to do. So I bought a lot of things. I always owe him some money or something. So anyway, it's a pretty good guitar. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I took 3 guitars and a bass guitar down there to the Pro Shop, and they were all guitars that were nice, and they're fine in their own way. I didn't want to play any of them because I had other ones that were similar and did the same thing. I had a pretty good Mexican Fender Precision bass, for instance, but I also have a somewhat better American Fender Precision bass. Had a Squier Stratocaster made in China, which is a curiosity because it's gold, and I like that guitar kinda, but it didn't play as well as the other ones I have. I have 4 Mexican Strats of different types. I have a Canadian Strat, which was actually not a Fender, but it's a early Godin copy of a Fender Stratocaster with a Jackson neck and a ebony fingerboard. And I don't want to sell that either. And I have one U.S. made Stratocaster. So with 6 other Stratocasters that were more fun to play, sound better, and everything than the Chinese one. I decided to let it go. I also had I think it was Chinese Telecaster. No, it was maybe Indonesian Telecaster, made in Indonesia. But I had 7 other Telecasters. They were all better than it. But actually, it was a pretty nice guitar, but really, really cheap. I got it because it was so inexpensive. Bought it new on sale somewhere, and so I let that go. See, so I was thinking, I've been in this also. I traded an amp that I didn't like very much. It was okay, but I didn't like it that much for this orange one. And I'm in this mode, where I'm trading things, and I'm you know, because I don't want more guitars. I want different guitars and amps. So anyway, so this one I was all set to sell it, but then I was kind of like thinking, I don't know if I want to sell it. It's actually a nice guitar. When am I going to play it? Oh, about right now. Sorry, I thought I was in tune. But I wasn't. I say this often that anything worth playing is worth playing in tune. Well, just lost a string. It broke. So I guess I won't be playing well, I could play this one like this. I was just trying to tune it, and it went bang. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't tune it funny or anything. But I don't know, I'm going to play a 5-string guitar. This almost never happens to me. I almost never break a string because I don't bend the notes that much, and I don't jump up and down and stuff. But here we go. Well, anyway, okay. So my plan was to take this. I took this guitar to work with me. I played it. It was okay, but kind of didn't sound like I wanted it to. And then I was going to take it on the show. And this is going to help me to decide whether or not I would sell it, like tomorrow. You see. And then, so while I was standing here, I was tuning, and one of the tuners went click. You know, it's one of those things when the tuner doesn't, it's kind of cheap and the gears don't work very well, so it's not very accurate. So it's like a low, cost tuner. And that was on one string, but then I got to the first string, and it just snapped. Now it's the string. It's not the guitar's fault. But so here I am, giving this guitar a chance. Of course, if I sell it, maybe it'll be somebody else's guitar. Maybe I would rather play in a rock band or something than do the kind of like restaurant jazz stuff that I do. I mean, that I would do on it. Maybe the guitar is saying, it's like one of those things, if you want to break up with your girlfriend, but you don't want to hurt her feelings, by telling her you don't want to be with her anymore, what you can do is start acting kind of weird, and unpleasant and kind of embarrassing in public, and then she'll break up with you, you see. So you don't have to, this is an old technique. You don't have to, reject her, make her feel bad. You can spare her feelings. You can make her reject you, and then, then she'll just think, she won't feel bad about herself. She'll just think, well, I sure dodged a bullet with that guy. See, that's an old trick for. So maybe this what this guitar is doing to me is just trying to, annoy me, so I won't keep it. So it can be somebody else's. Guitar. Anyway, hang on. I was gonna. But as I say, I have no problem with the this DBZ Imperial guitar down here in the case. So maybe I'll play that instead. Yeah, okay, everybody. I'm gonna stay open now. Okay, hang on, I'm just gonna put this in here. This DBZ Imperial wouldn't dare forsake me. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. It's probably bad luck. Huh? Got to be pretty good friends. Mr. Skopinski, sir.
I didn't want to interrupt your downtown there.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay.
Petula Clark.
Petula Clark, yeah.
I just had another, this is an intriguing amp that you brought this time, and this is the first time on the show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it Sunday afternoon.
So what, are all of their amps the color orange then?
Well, they make black models now. They used to be all orange, but they make black ones that have like a little orange on the label.
Okay. And what is that above the thing that says orange? Is that
It's like
Christmas?
like a coat of arms or something.
Oh, I see. Got it. Okay, so it's all part of the.
Sort of a, yeah. I'm not sure what it is.
Okay, but it's not like a decal that some rock and roller stuck on there after the fact, or.
Oh no, it came with it. I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't really figured out what it is. I haven't looked at it closely with a magnifying glass. It has like a open book in it, and like a music stand, and it looks like a shield or something. And I don't.
Okay, cool.
Or
And
it's a lyre or something. But.
And what is it from Orange County, California or something? Or
Yeah, I
just-
haven't found out who makes orange yet. I've seen them around for the last couple of years, and they specialize in really loud heavy metal amps. So I really haven't been very interested in them. And this all happened when last week I called the Guitar Center because I'd had a Marshall amp that I bought really cheap at the Sidewalk Days sale at the pawn shop for like $32. And it was not an amp that most people liked very much, but it had a beautiful sound when it was clean and had a little bit of reverb on it, which is basically what I have here. And it was small and everything. So I took it home, I plugged it in, and I was amazed at how nice it sounded. But then it started cutting out on me. And then I talked to repair guys at various places, repair amps, and the minimum bench cost would be like, maybe $100 to take it apart and find out what's wrong with it. So putting $100 into an amp I paid $32 for, and I could probably get a new one for less than $100, but they didn't make that model anymore. They made new ones. So I was looking at small amps because I play restaurant things. I'm never very loud. This is as loud as I'm going to be, And so I called the Guitar Center because I had been looking at this one Marshall amp, a little Marshall amp. And of course, Marshall's an English company that specializes in really loud, crunchy, heavy metal amps, but rock and roll. But they had a little practice amp and the newer version of the model that I had. And I was thinking about just going up and buying one or trading this amp that I didn't like very much for it. And the guy on the phone said they didn't have one. And there's another one similar. They didn't have that either. And they said, but the orange is great, So orange, So I want it really clean, and I want it kind of small, and that doesn't have to be very loud and still get the sound out of it. So, this one's great. And I didn't believe him, but I went up there, and these were the ones that just came out for 2015, and they brought them back from a trade show, the NAMM show, National Association of Music Merchandisers. And they had two of them only, and they didn't have any in black. They just had the orange ones. So I swapped my acoustic amp for it, and so far I've been really happy with it. But it's orange.
So it sounds like we'll have a little bit more, as always, some more research to do on Tom's Guitar Show and find out like who was the original manufacturer, or like where did the company come from? Why?
Yeah.
Where did the label orange come from? I'm either thinking of Orange County, California, or Florida. Maybe it's from
It
Florida.
says something like Orange Crush on the back, and I think it's kind of the color of the soda pop,
Okay, yeah.
which
yeah.
I wouldn't drink personally, but yeah.
So what's the connection? We'll have to find that out. We'll have to do our research here on Tom's Guitar Show and
yeah.
come up with these answers for
Well,
future shows.
I'll find out more about it because, as I say, I was never really interested in them before because they always were these really crunchy amps, and I looked at one at the Guitar Center, and it's a big national chain, international chain. It's up in Cedar Rapids, but. So I looked at I saw one there before, and I asked the guy because I was looking for a very small amp with no reverb on it that I could use my pedals with. I've been having trouble finding one that's as simple and clean as I want, not one with a bunch of amp models and stuff like that. They had one that, but all it had was distortion on it that you could turn off, but apparently it didn't sound very good clean. That's basically last year's model. So this is brand new, so they're branching into other things. And I actually played the other one that they had, the bigger one. And it was really nice too. It had more depth to it that I really liked. And of course, I played one of their guitars, not one of my own, but something similar to what I would be playing. And and that was actually really nice too. More expensive and too big, more money than I had, but and also too big for the kind of venue I would use it for. But I was kind of tempted. But as I say, I'm trading stuff. I don't want more stuff. I want different stuff.
Okay, interesting. Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, that's
So well, tonight's the welcome to the Orange Amp show. Becoming part of Tom's Guitar Show tonight.
Probably become a part of the Tuscan Moon gig on Saturday night for Valentine's Day. And as far as I know, I'm going to play from maybe 5 until 11, probably 6 hours, more or less, constantly.
And the Tuscan Moon is in Kelowna.
Beautiful downtown
Beautiful
Kelowna,
town.
Iowa, right next to the bakery. You just take, I would take Highway 218 south. It's you can go 65 miles an hour and get off on Highway 22 through Riverside, Iowa, and then 7 miles away from there is Kelowna, and then the sign that says Business District, and it's an arrow to the left. Turn left there, and a couple blocks down, you'll see the Tuscan Moon. It's nothing quite like it.
Because a town the size of Kelowna, they didn't dare put downtown.
Yeah.
So they put Business District
I
instead.
suppose, yeah.
Although
Well,
that's the downtown. So.
It's the downtown, but yeah,
And what night is this?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Valentine's
Okay.
Day.
Yeah, because you used to be doing both Friday and Saturday, and now it's exclusively Saturday night. So.
For now until the season picks up. But I told them that let me know if you got a lot of reservations for Friday night. People want to do Valentine's Day a day early because they're going to start at 5 and it's going to be packed until.
Yeah, it's a whole
11
big
or
romantic weekend. So Friday to Sunday is fair play for a Valentine's date. So.
Yeah, and if you're going to go, I mean, that would be the place to go if you're, take a date on Valentine's Day. Now, I wouldn't because I'd be busy on Valentine's Day. See, so I'd say that every day is Valentine's Day at my house, but I don't know.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you're a happily married man, and you have a wonderful wife, and every day's a Valentine's Day.
And I've also got the cat who loves me and wants to sit in my lap constantly and purr. So
There you go.
I nuzzle. But anyway, yeah. So so anyway, yeah. I'll be. I'm also expecting 2 guitars this week for all my trading and putting money into the pot over there at the Musicians Pro Shop. I have 2 Dean guitars, a large fat jazz box with 1 pickup at the neck, or right here, and then the other one is a thin line electric guitar with 2 humbuckers like this, but it also has a piezo pickup at the bridge, which is what you'd put in an acoustic electric instrument like my nylon string guitar, so it'll pick up the vibrations. It should sound like a folk guitar. And it has a toggle switch so you can mix and match the different pickups.
Okay. Well, there's our topic for next week's show. Then we'll have to talk about.
If I get those and the orange amp here, now I don't know if they should come like tomorrow, but we'll see. And I'm hoping to have the big blonde jazz guitar ready to go, and I hope it's everything I want it to be for Valentine's Day.
All right. Okay. We'll pursue this next week then. We're apprenticing another volunteer or intern. I'm not sure which, but we're coming to the end of the show, and I don't want to leave him hanging in the control room.
Yeah, it'll be like another minute and a half, I think. It's great to be home on my DBZ Imperial. See you next week, everybody.